Hello and welcome to episode 14 of The Return of the Forest. In this episode, it's important to note that there are a few interesting sit-ins reffing this game, including Psycho Marauder, Kunjin, the current #1, and Call Me Aimba. Though Kunjin, it's noted, yeah, I just said it, the current #1, I did not know he was reffing, so that's weird that this isn't going to unknown, but anyway, so I was very, very concerned when I started this game. I only had an 8 income first turn. I took, where did I take? Yeah, it doesn't matter. I took Jordan and Israel in the second turn. I was terrified that someone was going to start massively in Central Europe. And Red told Psycho that he shouldn't fix what isn't broken. I hadn't known at this point that Psycho was in the game, but upon hearing that I got a little worried. And so I looked at Red. Meanwhile, Purple had built up in Egypt, so I went and attacked him. And I was at 22 income, Red 20, Teal 15. Things were fairly alright. I could take the Middle East. I would need to hit him quickly, though. So I built transports to hit him with. And then I noticed he was at 32 income, and I was worried. I just looked at the mini-map, and it looked like he had taken Austria. And then he attempted to take Turkey, which I fought off and attacked. Now, I wasn't sure that wasn't Kunjin at this point. The SS and how poorly he was using it, I don't want to say that because it's rude to whoever ended up being Red. But at the very first, I was still worried. I looked at the mini-map, or at the income screen, and no one else could really be Kunjin. We do know now, of course, that he was a ref, but I was just terrified, because I had no idea that that was the case. I roar, fight with SS, and I figure, alright, this is going fairly well. I just need to keep this up, and in a few turns, I'll have taken Red over, and that will be that. And it's about this point that you notice Blue is taking over quite a bit of the map. So I'm a bit worried, to say the least. And then, that is when I notice him. I notice that Blue is massive, and I go into essentially overdrive mode. I just put all of my money into getting rid of Red. And wow, this is even lagging. Something is going wrong with my computer, because this shouldn't be lagging. Let's pause this for a moment and see if it persists. Alright, I'm gonna cut this right here for a moment and come back when I've solved. Alright, and jumping back, it appears to still be working. And let's unpause. There we go, we're getting a good solid 30 frames. Blue starts moving his forces out of Spain. I was surprised he wasn't hitting Portugal. At this point, I realized, oh no, I've made a huge mistake. Red isn't Kunjin. Blue clearly is. He's going to either come and attack me, or he is going to save up his money, maybe hit yellow, maybe teal, who knows. He's just going to save up and then crush me with overwhelming force. So I'm rather terrified of this. Red hits Israel. I stop him from taking anything other than the port. I move my SS down to retake it since I know that I'm losing the country income. Or not the country income, the continent income. Or I guess region income in this. Anyway, so I figure Blue, massive threat. At this point, he currently has 81 gold to my 28. I fight in Romania where I really shouldn't, because I had some weird hope that I could hold that long enough to do some good, and I did, though I took more losses than I should have. Red says the version is dumb. Any doubt that I had that wasn't Kunjin is gone at this point. I think that he would be more eloquent in his phrasings, and I really didn't think that he would get crushed that easily. And then I noticed that Blue was killing the trees in Slovenia, and I wondered what he could possibly be doing with that. But since he was the obvious person to be Kunjin at this point, I started to prepare. I attempted to take Turkey in this turn, and we're lagging again. Okay, I don't know why this is doing it, but it seems to be put off a little bit by turning fraps off and then back on. So, one moment. And back again. This error is something that I'm going to have to fix rather soon, otherwise there's really no... Well, no, I'll still keep on, but it'll be much more difficult. At this point, Blue is hitting Yellow, and I didn't understand why. I figured he must be taunting me at this point. He's undoubtedly rich. He's 26 gold to my 157. Rich and powerful and crazy good. Teal attacks Portugal. I attack Sardinia just to get him to have no ports near my fleet, of which part is very wounded. And I get to fighting Blue, which happens rather uneventfully. Yellow kind of attacks. I just target his main tank with my tower, and I just sort of wait for his attack to peter out. He then makes mortars, so I send a bit of a force to deal with him. And from here, it's just about controlling what I have. I have SS in the sea. I can fight his tanks on land and bring my boats in. I'm in a great position. I wonder briefly why someone who managed to get through this season so far with 36 wins and no losses would be fighting like this. I mean, I consider myself relatively good. I don't really know the Risk Next Gen units and stuff like that. Though I get the gist of the game, in my opinion, fairly well. And I have 5 losses. So I just sort of wait. I fight a bit, but I do so safely. I keep a relatively large gold buffer, and I just battle through. And that's essentially what the rest of this replay is just me fighting through this a bit. Meanwhile, Teal's fighting Blue. And I start pushing into Germany and wondering what exactly is going on. And so I continue to fight. Teal continues to attack Blue and gets Blue's attention pretty soon. One of the refs lags out, and Blue just sort of gets taken out. I just realized I wasn't making commentary because I was reading the chat, and that's probably a terrible way to go about commenting on things. And he leaves, and he is unknown, not just unknown, but in white, which means he's a ref, which meant the entire time I was fighting people who weren't him. I believe I actually mentioned something about that in the chat. I had asked when I had taken most of France and got that answer. So yeah, that is episode 14. I really, really hope it's 14. I said it was 14 several times throughout the video. And that is all.